This is me, nearly getting taken out by former world number 7, Fernando Verdasco. Now on this episode of Road to Top 1000, I not only competed against a former Spanish icon, I picked up my first ATP points of the year, I had some insanely tense moments which definitely gave me at least one grey hair, had some insanely bad calls, and I break down all of the prize money that I've earned over my first 3 weeks of competing on Road to Top 1000. Now, as a quick recap, my name's Felix, and I'm attempting to become one of the top 1,000 ranked tennis players in 2025. Now, I've managed to achieve that in my doubles ranking. However, singles is the focus. I'm currently sat around 2,000 in the world and I have to reach 1,000 by the end of the year to achieve this goal. As we saw in last week's video, there's definitely going to be some tough moments, but it's about learning from the losses. And in this video, you're going to be seeing 2 tournaments that I played, so I hope you enjoy. And so we're going to jump straight into my preparations for my first match of week number 2. Jumping straight on court, it was a bright and sunny day. I was playing second match on. I'm super excited to get going. Ground strokes, you know, always feeling nice and loose on a match day, but I think it's always good to just kind of hit a few extra balls, play for 20 to 30 minutes, loosen off the serve, and really get in that right state of mind. 5:30 PM was the kickoff for the qualifying match. I was playing a fellow countryman, Adam Jones, very, very solid player, and let's just say things started off pretty intense. Now, kind of right from this third game, I could tell Adam was going to be super aggressive off the first ball, and he began to play some pretty lights out tennis. Not much of it was actually in my control. Shots like that were just kind of too good, and it was now about me being able to try and adapt and find a way to kind of answer these problems. Was it going to be more depth from me, more angles, being a little bit more aggressive on my shots? But definitely, if I kept kind of trying to play this same strategy, it was going to be tough for me to find a way through. I'm not quite getting that ball in, and I go down the first set. Now, definitely not the start we wanted, but I felt kind of a degree of optimism from, you know, the way that I was beginning to play. Now, calls like that definitely didn't help. Don't know how the umpire's seen that as in. It's nowhere near. And, you know, with that being said, I find myself break point chance up, and I do take it. Now the momentum's a little bit on my side. I've got to kind of keep capitalising on this, really try and get ahead in this set, and really try and work these points. The aggressive returning paying off, and I got 5-3. However, service game stopping me from taking this second set. And that slice just not going as wide as I wanted, and Adam taking advantage of it, going 2 break points down here. And the backhand just letting me down on that one occasion, not quite getting my feet out of the way. And again on my serve here, struggling to kind of convert these points. Great ball from both of us there. No words to explain that get there, and yeah, I missed that smash. Unfortunately, I do end up losing this first round qualifying match, and I was pretty frustrated with that loss, I can't lie.
Who am I imitating for?
That meant to be your Verdasco forehand.
No, Hachinov.
Straight onto the practice court for day 2 to get prepared for the doubles of week number 2. Now I was super excited because the draw for this one was pretty insane, so I had to be as prepared as possible.
Yes guys, so I'm about to play doubles first round here, 25k or 30k now, playing Fernando Verdasco. Not who I was expecting to play against, so yeah, an exciting draw. Gonna see what he's got. 41 years old, he lives here, and apparently he's preparing for the 500 event that they've got here. Yeah, excited to see what he's got. Let's see how it goes.
Now this week in the doubles draw, we were playing against Fernando Verdasco. Formerly ranked world number 7 in the world for singles, 8 in the world for doubles. He's amassed over $18 million in prize money. He's won the ATP finals in doubles. He's won the Davis Cup. He's played over 1,000 singles matches with over 550 ATP tour wins, which is absolutely mental. His partner, Cem İlkel from Turkey, current world number 711 in singles. He's been as high as 144. So definitely not the first round draw we were expecting, but I was very apprehensive nonetheless. So jumping into this match was definitely going to be an exciting one to see what Verdasco could pull out. He's obviously over 40 years old, so I mean, with that being said, I was still expecting big things, but as you know, some of the top doubles players are still in their 40s, so you know, I was a bit nervous that he just absolutely crunched me at the net a couple of times. However, you know, starting off here,
his aura could be felt. You know, he still had a lot of his habits, as he kind of did before when he was playing professionally. But you know, it was really awesome to be playing on the other side of the net against him. And again, especially at the beginning of this match, I think both me and my partner, Mert, were a little bit shook, I want to say. But you know, started off not the greatest start, kind of getting broken, and we knew it might take a little bit of time to kind of get into this match. You know, find our footing, find our rhythm. Oh, it's an insane lob. And again, yeah, didn't want to go down too far too early. Wanted to kind of keep in contention here. We definitely felt that we could win this match. This wasn't like a write-off, oh, we're going to lose anyway. So that definitely wasn't the mindset. However, just starting a little bit slow, causing us to lose a little bit of confidence. And I guess the occasion of obviously playing against, against Verdasco was obviously pretty cool, but definitely didn't want to let that affect our game. Some decent points starting to roll in here as we start to win some service games. Again, great for the confidence. I think Verdasco was playing really cleverly around the net. Like, oh, I mean, that is just insane. You know, he had really good awareness of like where to go at the right times. And he was able to really utilize that lefty swinger to kind of open up the angles, which is so important on the doubles court. But again, nice poach there from me taking the game. We do go 5-2 down here. But you know, I've got a chance to make them serve for it. We take it 5-3. Maybe we can try and poach here to take this set to 5-all. No, we can't. So we end up losing the first set here. With that being said, I definitely think the momentum was, you know, on our side slightly from having gone down 3-love here in this first set. So definitely wanted to try and utilize that, but shots like that weren't helping. I think at a certain point in some doubles matches, you lose a little bit of the momentum, that spark, and I think towards the beginning of this second set here, our opponents began to play some really solid tennis. So we really had to now lock in to try and find a way kind of back into this set, kind of dig ourselves out of this hole. Getting slightly unfortunate again. Similar start to this first set, and me absolutely nearly getting killed by Verdasco. That was not fun experience. That looked a lot slower on camera as well than it did in person. That was actually pretty scary. He said that he didn't mean to. He was supposed to kind of go wider, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt that he wasn't trying to take me out. But again, 5-1 down here. Just these guys are playing too good. They were playing consistent, nice and solid, doing all of the things right. Obviously, Verdasco, great tactics, so you know, was able to potentially utilize some of the weak spots in our games. I think overall as well, just trying to be slightly too good at some points like this, just trying to overplay slightly, causing us to put a bit too much pressure on ourselves almost in the beginning of this second set and first set, to be honest, which caused us to go behind and obviously increase their confidence. At this point, you know, it's 5-1. We could kind of tell that the chances were pretty bleak that we come back in this one, but with that being said, it's never over until it's over. And unfortunately, we do lose.
And so after that loss to Verdasco, it wasn't the best week, but it meant that I could go collect my prize money earnings check. Now, we're talking some serious money here. So obviously I lost first round in singles in the qualifying where you don't get any money. And in the doubles, for losing in the first round of a 30K, I got this. $100, yeah, as you can tell, doesn't pay much to play futures level doubles. However, with that being said, I had one more chance to redeem myself, my final week of this 3-week block in Kuwait. Now, it's one of my favorite tournaments of all time, you guys know this, and I'm gonna be playing singles and doubles this week, and let's see if I can earn a little bit more than this $100 and hopefully pick up some ATP points. So let's see how I got on.
Right guys, so we've just got to the room here in Kuwait, and this room is actually insane. So here, first off,
We've got the safe, got some, I don't know, whatever these are, bath, slippers, whole separate room for this. Then you go on into the shower. We've got bathroom, massive mirror. This is all just for me. Toilet, shower, then you got the main part of the room here, massive bed. They even left me some snacks, some nuts, wow. Why can't all ITF tournament hotels be like this? I'm so pumped for this week. Vamos. For all you tennis nerds out there, look at that thing. Right guys, so it's draw time. Time to check who I'm playing. I'm playing a Turkish player. Looks like a reasonably decent first round. Centre court. Let's go. I don't think I've ever seen a more diverse platter of fruit in my life. I love this breakfast so much. If every breakfast looked like this, then I think a lot more people would come to these futures tournaments. But yeah, got all some healthy proteins, some fruit, some smoked salmon, honey as well, some raw honey. Let me give it a little taste test. Oh, so good. Just grab myself this banana for the match. Do a little taste test. Apparently beetroot's supposed to be like really good for like blood flow and stuff. Tastes good. Feeling good this morning. I like to get a sweat in the warm-up. It's like the perfect temperature, so gonna go through the usual volley serves and then get cracking. Now, you guys know I love these courts in Kuwait, and practicing once again on these courts, ready for match day. I was super excited to get going.
How's the legs feeling?
Good, yeah, pretty good. A little bit tired, but to be expected. I'm pumped. Good to get the week going.
On that my first round qualifying match here in Kuwait, I was playing Cemil Turgut Duran, a Turkish player, ranked around 500 in the world for juniors. He hasn't played many futures events, so it was going to be a good test of his level to see what he could produce in the first round here. A draw not to underestimate, I've learned.
Also guys, I just wanted to say we're nearly at 250,000 subscribers. So if you haven't already, I'd really appreciate it. If you go down there, check if you're subscribed. If you are, amazing. If you're not, then please help us out. It really means the world, and it also allows us to make more of these types of videos. So thank you, and let's carry on with the video. So first match on the centre. It's a great way to kick off my qualifying campaign here at the Fernando Academy in Kuwait. My opponent, a lefty, definitely was going to be slightly tricky to play against because these courts were very slow. And obviously with no ball change, it's going to get a little bit dicey towards, you know, the 20 to 30 minute mark. That's how I kind of time how long the balls are going to last. I mean, if it even is 20 to 30 minutes. But as you can see already, these points lasting quite a while, so you really have to find ways of kind of getting through your opponent. And it's going to be definitely a physical battle. It makes the match a bit of a level playing field. So that's one thing I would change about the ITF tour. If any of you at the ITF are listening, we need a new ball change, please. One thing I did definitely think that was working is I felt very kind of crisp and fresh. I felt my kind of movement up to the ball was definitely a lot better this week than it was in the previous week. I worked with my coach Paul on a lot of the things that I definitely didn't do so well in Doha, especially my backhand, just looking to be nice and aggressive, have a good intention. I think that was definitely one of the reasons why, in this match, I was just kind of working on the confidence and coming forward as well. And I think the intention is so important in tennis, and sometimes you can kind of get a little bit kind of carried away in trying to win too much, which is not a bad thing. Obviously competitiveness is great, but I think also just really trying to do the right things so that you're improving match by match. And backhands like that were not what I wanted to see, and I go down an early break in this first set, and it was a battle, it was a grind. My opponent was putting up a great fight, really making me work for a lot of these points, and it was tough to find ways through him, to be honest. Especially like balls like this, 2-3 balls I have to move into the sides to really find a way through. And I could begin to kind of tell that, on this day I was not really feeling the ball as much as I would have liked. And, sometimes when you step out on the court, you're, maybe playing a 6 out of 10, a 5 out of 10 in terms of, your level or where you feel your level could be. You really just have to just kind of switch to, that mental mode of just, okay, I'm going to do the basics well, I'm going to hit big to big targets like that, lock it down a little bit. And I do manage to find a break back. It's about how good you can play on your 5 out of 10 days, your 6 out of 10 days, and not always how can I play 10 out of 10, because the days where you don't play so good are the days you get knocked out of the tournament. And that's what I've been working on, really trying to kind of come back on those days and find ways of increasing my level and finding ways to win. But great balls like that from my opponent set him up with a set point. And that ball being called long there and losing the first set, I was very disappointed in myself with that double fault. Some of the calls were kind of questionable in this match. Again, a lot of them are super close. Did kind of think that ball was touching the back of the line, but fueled the fire a little bit for the second set. Definitely wanted to have a good start and start off being nice and aggressive with that backhand. I felt like I was doing all of the right things. I wasn't frustrated with that first set. I definitely think that I could
you know, I could win for sure, 100%. Just need to tighten up a few of the areas, really make sure I'm winning the important points, and really fight back and come back in this match. And the serve and volley, you know, working well. I get a chance here to go through one up. Approaching into that backhand side was working nicely. Little smash finish. And as you can see, I'm kind of pulling away in this set. Definitely was preferring to come forwards. Nice service box volleys to finish off these points. Couldn't quite make that one work. But again, I'm kind of in the kind of control seat now in this second set. I began to find my groove a little bit. It took me a little bit of time, bit of a slow start, but now I'm beginning to get more and more confident. Set point number one rolls around for me. And again here, just trying to make the ball, make it consistent. And yeah, nice and aggressive backhand takes us into this match tiebreak. And I have a pretty good start here. I'll go 4-2 up, but we are playing tennis at the end of the day, and we know that this is never a sport where you can relax when you're ahead. And let's just say it was one of those days where it turned into a bit of a dogfight, and I guess you'll see how I get on.
I'm just in the room now, having a coffee, and I was just kind of dawning on me how much it would have sucked if I would have lost that match. After the match, I was actually very disappointed with how I played and the result. Nothing was really firing that well. I didn't feel like I was moving or tactically playing particularly well, struggling to string points together. But at the end of the day, I won the match. Really looking forward to having a chance to play against the seed number one in qualies tomorrow, hopefully qualify for the first time this year. And if not, that's fine. I've got a training block coming up. Really going to work on some of the areas where, you know, I really think I can see some improvements.
Getting some healthy dinner in.
Dinner here at the academy is just so good. Got the steak,
this.
Right guys, in the sauna, night before the match, get a little bit of recovery in. Gonna go swim in the pool as well. I like to just do this before matches, makes me feel nice and relaxed, and also like mentally that I've prepared. Like I've done everything possible to get my body ready. Week 3 of this kind of mini 3-week block, so really looking to put in a good performance and yeah, leave with good results, so yeah.
Here we have Felix doing the same warm-up for the 100th day straight.
Try and mix it up every now and again. I just add a few exercises just to keep myself from getting bored. Feeling pretty good today. A long match yesterday, so tried to get some good recovery and feeling a little bit stiff still. Another lefty today, I've been told, so a few tips on his game, so going to try and implement those. High into his backhand apparently.
Any things you learned yesterday about playing a lefty?
Use my forehand to go back behind on their backhand. I've got the angle on my forehand, I can hit it pretty decently, so they'll usually try over recover. Yeah, on defense, not be so worried to kind of go across on my forehand.
Your shirt reminds me of like the Skittles Taste the Rainbow.
Right, yeah.
You look like a Skittles pack.
It's good vibes when we're on centre. I actually feel like a professional player. It's good, isn't it? So once again on centre court for the warm-up for today's match, dressed as a Skittle apparently, and again just feeling the ball nice and slow as per usual, preparing for another lefty battle.
So the player standing between me and qualification this week was the seed number 1, Alexander Petrov from Bulgaria. Now Alex played in Illinois in the US university system. He's currently ranked 1200 in singles but had a career high of 989, so definitely an experienced player. And I was hoping he wasn't going to bring too much college tennis consistency, otherwise we were going to have an absolute battle.
I think from the very first game I could tell this match was going to be an absolute grind. A college player notoriously kind of has a bit of a reputation for liking a battle, liking a bit of a grind, so I kind of knew what I was getting myself into. He played slightly more aggressive than I was expecting, to be honest, but he still did move the ball pretty well, and when he came to the net he really had some weapons to be able to put away balls, so I had to make sure, you know, I don't want to drop the ball too short to be able to give him chances to kind of step up the court. But with the new balls, my serve was firing. I was feeling great. I guess massive volume from yesterday's match really gave me some good confidence going into this one. However, you know, was feeling a little bit achy. The match yesterday was about 2.5 hours, so definitely not the shortest of matches. However, overall physically I was obviously feeling pretty decent. One match isn't going to really put a dent in the tank, but overall definitely didn't want to have too long of a battle today. So as you can see here, trying to, you know, tactically come forward, find some ways to the net, and you know, that was definitely paying off towards the beginning of this match. Get my first break point here at 2-all. You know, Alex definitely using his forehand effectively to kind of be nice and aggressive, and managing to fend off the first one, but again getting a second break point here once again. And you know, you can just see kind of from the tempo of these balls, you know, we're moving the ball nicely, it's kind of going side to side. He's definitely attacking more into the backhand, but you know, you can kind of, you know, defensively neutralize with some decent depth, and there's not really much, you know, he can do. Okay, maybe goes back behind there, but once again, you know, slice deep. Again, I've kind of reset the point there, getting a net cord, a little bit lucky, but I get my first break here. But as you can see, the serve, because of these balls, is a little bit neutralized again. So, you know, my opponent getting a break point chance here. You know, this was definitely one of those matches. There was a lot of lateral movement. The lefty swinger really pulled me out wide, finding a chance here to come forwards, come to the net, and finishing the point here to save one of the break points. But again, my opponent getting another break point and just putting that forehand inside in wide. Sometimes you've got to take those risks, sometimes you've got to take those chances. I don't class myself as one of those players that's going to be able to kind of grind all day. Not really because I don't think I can, it's more just I want to develop the right habits and the right, you know, choices in my game. I was talking about intention earlier, and I think that that was one of the key areas as well. But as you can see here, it's definitely a battle.
pretty long rallies there, losing me the break on serve. And again, it's small margins. You know, he was able to outlast me on those 2 balls, but some of the other longer rallies were going my way, so I felt kind of comfortable staying in them and, you know, potentially taking the chance to try and, you know, win that absolute battle in the ground stroke rally. Again, points like this, just chances to just, you know, I'm mixing up the slice to kind of mix in the tempo again. You know, that wasn't, you know, a good enough slice in that scenario, but, you know, I think overall it was working pretty well in the majority of the points. Obviously, these are only the highlights. But as you can see here, taking it to 6-5 here, I've got a chance to try and serve to take it to a tie break. And the net call going against me this time, giving my opponent his first set point. Pretty frustrating way for it to happen. And pushing me into the forehand side, causing an error. And again, just feeling like that first set just slipped away from me a little bit too easily. I felt like, you know, I was in the driving seat towards the beginning of that first set, doing all the right things. Maybe a little bit of fatigue, you know, hitting in that slice a little bit too much, not being able to fend out of the backhand or attacking with the forehand too much. But again, these are just kind of small things that in the match you're just trying to navigate, you know, all of these decisions. And that's why tennis is such a complex sport, because you've got constant decisions, tactics, game style, physical, mental, you know, all of these issues here. And, you know, as you can see, beginning of this second set, it was even more of a battle than the first set was, because neither of us wanted to give an inch. He wanted to keep that lead, I wanted to come back, and as you'll see, it becomes an absolute dogfight. And a great volley there, keeping me in this game, an absolute crucial hold from myself, taking it to 2-all. And I was kind of thinking to myself at this point, you know, watching this back, like, you know, I'm playing some good tennis, and it's almost frustrating in a way playing the seed number 1 in qualies. He actually managed to get some ATP points in the tournament after this. So definitely a player that's winning matches in main draw consistently. So, you know, it's one of those things, you know, you want to improve and play the best players, but also you want to, you know, give yourself the chances to get into the main draw. And I felt like against a lot of the other players in the qualifying draw, I would have had good chances. But the opponent on the other side of the net is who you've got to beat. And today it was going to be the seed number 1. So again, back to the dogfight of a match. And you know, as you can see here, it was getting heated, and I go down a break point here, which could be costly if I lose it. And on this game point here, I said to myself, there is no way I'm making an unforced error. I'm just going to kind of stick to my guns. I'm not going to miss. No way am I giving him this point. And I do break back, and now it's all to play for. Managing to find a way back into the set gave me a lot of confidence in this game, and now it's going to be about trying to convert it and build that momentum in this set. Great move forwards there, giving myself a chance to take this game here. I'm not quite doing enough with that volley. I pride myself on having, you know, good net skills when it counts, but that one really cost me. Not quite having the legs to move out to that one, and Alex serving for the match here, taking it to 40-30 with a first match point.
And I felt that this kind of set had slipped away from me just like the first one so quickly with such fine margins, and I lose in the final round of qualifying. And as much as it hurt, it was a good performance, and the best way to move on from that is to get on with the next match. Now this week in the doubles draw in Kuwait, I was partnering with Johan Nichols, a Swiss doubles player ranked 453 in the world for doubles, meaning we were going to be the seed number 2. He was also ranked 630 in singles, having been as high as 250, so a very, very worthy player to be playing with this week. Now in the first round in the doubles, we were to play 2 Kuwaiti wildcards, so never easy to play against the home favourites. However, we were pretty confident going into this match that we could get the W, but of course it was going to be a good opportunity to test our team chemistry. So playing the home favourites in round number 1. Excited to see what we can do on this doubles court. We've never played together before, me and Johan, so definitely wanted to put in a strong performance. I looked at his doubles results, it was pretty impressive. He's won quite a lot of his doubles tournament he's actually played. He told me before, like, kind of as soon as he played a few just for fun, he started winning and then began to kind of take it a little bit more seriously. So, you know, teaming up for this week was definitely, you know, a strong partnership. And the first game here, really just trying to kind of see what his strengths and weaknesses were, because I think he was one of those guys that was just so solid from the back, solid at the net, great returns, consistent serve. So one of those partners that you know is not going to let you down in those key moments. So he's very reliable. So that was definitely going to be one of the things that you can kind of, well, I guess rely on in a way. So definitely looking to kind of utilize those strengths. And it's obviously important to know what your partner's strengths and weaknesses are in doubles, because it helps you predict kind of what you're going to do in a way, moving, where you're going to be returning from, and all that different type of stuff. And as you can see here, you know, 30 love up in this game to potentially break for the first time. Definitely wanted to try and get on that scoreboard early with a break. And there it is. Get that break, go 3-1 up. Now it's on serve here at 40 love, taking it to 4-2. And I believe here the momentum shifted slightly. Our opponents began to kind of take their foot off the gas a little bit. We began to move ahead. With a good move forwards, we take the first set 6-2 here. I also kind of want to say, this is actually my first time that I could actually get ATP points in doubles this year. Obviously third tournament. And last year, crazy overhead shot there by the way. Last year I didn't actually pick up any doubles ATP points until I made the final of the 15k in Antalya with Juan Paz in April. So, you know, definitely no points to defend, so definitely going to be an increase in the ranking if I do pick up some points. And with a couple of solid points, we do take that first match, a good start to this week.
At a tournament, the life of a tennis player is literally just eating the same thing, doing the same thing day in, day out. So for a vlog, it's kind of boring. There's not much going on, but I guess I'm just going to enjoy my eggs and go get to practice and go win today's match again. Got the pre-match shot again. This time we've gone for orange, lemon, turmeric, ginger. Sounds pretty healthy. Oh, that's cool. Got a bit of a kick. Anyway, going for my coffee, and yeah, excited to get going. This beautiful club room here. I always like it when, you know, you can wait for your match in like a calm environment.
In the quarterfinals this week, we're going to be playing Zaitsev and Nedelko, 2 Russian players. Nedelko even played in the Australian Open qualifying for singles at some point, but still going into it, we were confident we could make it through if we kept that team chemistry from the previous round.
And so here in the doubles, playing these 2 Russian players to make the semis. Last year, or at least December 2023, me and Raf made the quarterfinals here 2 weeks in a row. So wanted to try and, I guess, break that, I don't want to call it a curse, but wanted to break that run essentially. And getting tagged straight the way is exactly what, you know, I wanted.
definitely not actually. But you know, with that being said, wanted to try and, you know, assert the dominance at the net early on against these two guys. You know, they hit the ball extremely well from the baseline, so I really wanted to try and, I guess, pressure them a little bit by coming forwards as much as possible. So they've got kind of smaller targets to hit into. This guy in the orange had a massive serve, so it was really kind of tough to neutralise. But again, just finding the spaces, being a little bit patient. You know, in a lot of the doubles matches, there's a lot of tactics that you can kind of have. So, for example, I'll give you an example of this match. You know, we were just basically trying to figure out as quick as possible what weaknesses our opponents have. So that's something you can kind of implement, you know, when you guys are playing doubles, is try and figure out as fast as possible by doing a variety of things. So, for example, you can see here serving into the backhand of Verdasco. You know, him kind of chipping it, putting it up, and that was something kind of we identified pretty early on. In this cross-court battle here, we identified that this orange guy is going to kind of hit to me quite a lot of the net as a way to kind of cop out of the rally. And Johann's definitely not going to miss in the cross-court. You know, we felt confident in that, so that was one of those strategies on that side we were going to try and implement to really, you know, win a lot of points on that side. And obviously on the serve, we were going to go body forehand of Verdasco, because usually that was where he didn't want it as much, and it was going to give us a good chance to poach. So throughout these highlights, you'll be able to see that and utilize that. And those are some of the strategies which I think allowed us to win a lot more points consistently, especially on the big points. And so especially within your doubles and even singles matches, utilizing and trying to figure out you know, different shots is going to help you figure out how to beat your opponents much quicker. And also you can figure out what they don't like in those key moments to be able to win the important points. So obviously you don't want to go there every single time. So for example, here's another scenario. Get that ball down the line. You know, I'm expecting it and I can hit a winner off it, which obviously is so much easier than just kind of playing a guessing game. So it's about playing the percentages essentially. And as you can see, we take the first set here, and now it's 4-all. And there's a little bit of tension here as you know, we get these 2 break points. All going into the body back, and again that was one of the tactics that I was talking about, and an ace to seal our spot in the semis.
Yes guys, so into the semis, pretty strong performance, 4 sets in a row now. Obviously first time playing together, and let me tell you, this guy's consistent.
Yeah, it was good. No, it was definitely some good matches, and now, yeah, looking forward to the semis. Yeah.
In terms of our ability at the net, today we were a little bit relaxed, let's just say. Going into semis, I think probably going to be important when we close off the volleys a little bit more. But
Soft volleys for me doesn't work. Drop shot volley doesn't work. So yeah, I have to keep it with just solid volleys. Yeah.
But I think so far so good. I mean, whenever I play with someone new and we're seeded, we seem to go very far. So I have high hopes, and yeah, hopefully we can go all the way. But yeah, solid performance.
Yes guys, so up nice and early this morning. I'm warming up my doubles partner for singles. Gonna enjoy some really nice breakfast. 7th semi-final of doubles. So yeah, I've only ever made 3 finals. Let's try and make it a 4th. Keep that above 50% win rate in semi-final records. I'm really getting used to this breakfast, which is slightly worrying, but it's just insane. Like mango. So good. Yes guys, so I'm just doing a voiceover for this week's video. So my partner just won his singles match. I've got about an hour and a bit before I play. I just wanted to kind of say, it's a bit weird how usually the people that I'm playing doubles with, like Juan, Michael, Yanaki, every time I play with them and we go semis or final, they also make semis or final in singles. And as we saw last time in Poland, Michael was cooked. My partner just played a 2 hour and 55-minute match, and now he's got about an hour to rest, and then he's going to play doubles. So I don't blame him if he's a little bit tired, having also played yesterday's singles and doubles. I just find it funny that always happens. Maybe it's a good luck charm from myself. Yeah, I'm going to pack this up, get ready, head to the club, do a little bit of a physical warm-up, maybe give my partner some words of encouragement. Let's do it. Come on.
Now in the semi-finals, we were to play 2 French players, Joris Moret and Maxence Bourges. Both had decent doubles rankings, one being 595 and the other being 1800, hence why they weren't seeded. But they both picked up previously some pretty good doubles wins, so we knew this semi-final was going to be tough.
And so into this doubles semi-final on court number 8, where this doubles campaign started. And in this first game, I think it kind of set the tone for the match. Johann was definitely a little bit cooked, I think more than he would like to admit. But, you know, definitely tried to take it upon myself to try and carry a little bit, but that start wasn't good. Sudden death juice point, missing a smash on my serve is really not the way we wanted to start. However, in doubles, anything can happen. Sudden death juices, you know, so much is going on, and crazy stuff like this is happening all the time. And the doubles reactions at the net weren't too shabby, and points like this definitely added to the confidence. Has to be my best backhand of all time. I'm adamant on that. That is definitely my best backhand of all time. Clip that, post that, that's going on the Instagram. I knew that as soon as I hit it, but I was so gassed after that shot, and that ball really kind of put a dent in that confidence, because as you saw, that was so close, and you know, that would have made a massive difference to the scoreline breaking back in this first set. But nevertheless, we knew that, you know, it was a game of fine margins. You know, as you've seen, you know, these guys are liking to come to us at the net, so the reactions definitely have to be there. But overall, we kind of knew that that set was, you know, my first service game, and that game that we just missed that break point on, and instead of a 6-2, it's a 4-all. So definitely the confidence going into this second set was pretty high, even, you know, the scoreline didn't kind of suggest that way. But as you can see already, the level was very high in the second set. Some really good doubles being played. A little bit over-eager there from myself. But we want to kind of stay in the leading, in the driver's seat in this second set. And I have no clue what that volley was. I mean, I must have had my eyes closed. But with that being said, again, just trying to hold these service games to love, give ourselves as much wiggle room as possible if, you know, they play 1 or 2 good points. You know, the first points in each service game are always so important in doubles, because with the sudden death juice, anything can happen. You can quite easily steal a break. It kind of takes the advantage away from the server a little bit. But Johan with some insane ground strokes, and here at 4-all, this game was a must-win. And we go down 40 love. Definitely not what we had envisaged, and we do end up losing this game, which gives our opponents a chance to serve it out for the match. And they come up with some insane reaction volleys to go 40-15 up. And I miss it wide and go out in the semi-finals. A really tough way to go out.
Right, so this week from the tournament, semi-finals of doubles, I managed to take home 50 Kuwaiti dinar, which is $162. Now, it's definitely better than the $100 we earned last week, but still nowhere near enough to cover the expenses. So that brings the grand total to this number right here, which definitely isn't a lot. Now, of course, the $250 from these 2 weeks is not enough to cover it. So I want to say thank you to all of you guys that following and subscribing, that making this journey possible. However, we want to make it financially viable to be a tennis player, and that's the goal of Road to Top 1000, trying to get into the main draws more consistently, start earning some more prize money. With that being said, right now I'm back home, I'm training, and I'm going to be working very hard for my next tournament block, which is coming up in America. So those of you in America, I'm going to be seeing you guys very soon. I'm super excited, and you guys are going to be seeing some slightly different content over the next few weeks whilst I document that journey of improvement. But with that being said, I hope you liked the longer style of video. If you did, drop a like on this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.